And welcome back to Meeting of the Minds. We're excited. Got great stuff as always. I a lot of times neglect to bring up that we have a daily motivation text message. And we do this because, especially during this time, we want to keep everyone positive. We want to motivate people. So for positivity and for motivation, we do a daily text message. So you're going to want to text Mindset 1 to 84576. So every day you get our motivational text message. It's a motivation blast. So it's a good kick in the pants. It gets you going. A lot of people seeing some real good results with that. We had one athlete say they weren't thinking about working out, and then they got the mindset blast, they got the motivation blast, and they got their workout in. So that's great. There you are, Neil. Let's bring in. So yeah, everyone text Mindset 1 to 84556. Neil, what's going on?
How are you?
Good. Welcome to Meeting of the Minds.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Let me get in a better spot. That window's doesn't really help here. Sorry about that.
No problem.
What's going on tonight?
Good. It's a nice day in New York City. It was in the 80s today. But enough about me. How about you? It's probably real nice down there.
Yeah, it's good. It's super hot, and my kids love it. They've been outside since they woke up, so it's been good.
Any pool stuff that you guys do? Anything with the water?
Well, we are actually at at my in-laws here in Oklahoma, and they have a big ranch out here, so we've been working cattle and feeding the animals and just doing more work than vacation. So
that's great, and that's really what the country. How's it going, buddy?
Sorry,
okay. How's it going?
That's one of my four. I got four,
right.
so I'm sure another one will pop up soon.
How many? Oh, that's great. Oh, we hope so. We're praying for you. I got number 2 on the way in the summer, and I already have one son.
Awesome. Congrats.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So tell us about your team, coaching philosophies, how to link more people up to what you're doing.
Yeah. So, most people probably know that we competed for the first time this year. So we're in the Pac-12. We had a pretty decent season. Didn't have a great dual season. Duels were tough for us, but we had a lot of really good individuals that did some really good, things. Won a lot of, tough matches and, a lot of ranked matches. As far as my team, we're made up of, we had 14 freshmen, and then we had some upperclassmen, between junior college transfers and, some Division I transfers. We were able to have a little bit of seniority on the team, not much. By the end of the year, I think we wrestled 7 freshmen. So it was it was a great year. We really established who we are. I think our guys know who they're capable of being and who they want to be now. There's just so much unknown when you're starting something from scratch that you're just kind of going through these situations and scenarios and you're learning and that's really I think the best way to sum up our season is that we established a culture. We fought hard. We know who we are now. I think we have a lot of confidence in who we are moving forward. And, it's just been a really, really awesome experience. My guys showed up every time and just fought their tails off. So that's a little bit about our team, and just kind of who we are. So,
yeah, we got a good question here from This Name Has Been Used. I thought it was a good one. How have you built the program and what are the challenges of starting up a new program? It's a good one.
Yeah. Great question. This name has been used. How did we build a program? Well, everything starts with an idea, and you quickly learn that great ideas are great until you got to implement them, right? And so we had a lot of great ideas, and when it came time to implement them, whether it be in recruiting or whether it be in actual competing, the how-to part is really what people miss out on or they don't understand. So when it comes to building the program, we created a set of values. We recruited to those values. We talked about those values and we really pushed them and, helped create who we wanted to be. So, it started with the recruiting process, recruiting 24 or 25 student athletes for year one. We got those 25. We had, we're going to have probably around 12 to 13 guys coming in this year. That'll put us at about 35 guys. And then we graduate, 6, 7, 8 guys next year. So, it started with the recruiting process. Then once we got the guys on campus, it's about really instilling your values. We're going to live for something bigger than ourselves. We're going to control the things we can control, and we're going to have great relationships. And that's really where it started. And, I would say that as we competed and as we trained and as we fought and had adversity, we had a lot of adversity through this year. We had a lot of unfortunate situations. We just referred back to our values to help create and establish our culture. So I would say that's how we built our program. The challenges is that, building that confidence, going through this adversity, it's about putting one foot in front of the other and not living life looking in the rearview mirror and saying, okay, we might have had a setback, we might have had some adversity. How are we going to respond? And who are we going to be through this time? So when we come out the other side, we know why we went through it. And, I would say that as far as challenges go, specifically, having a small squad was not easy. It's not easy training. You have some injuries, and next thing you know, you got 18 guys on the mat, and you got sometimes only one guy at one weight. So I would say injuries were a thing. Just establishing that no matter how much you do something, everything's for the first time. So really establishing how to create an identity for ourselves, because each time it was new, right? So, I think that was a challenge. And then just the, going through a season when you're not having a lot of success as a whole. We have a lot of individuals did a lot of good things, but it's not easy losing duels over and over and over. So, I think keeping that attitude and that mindset and believing in who we are and what we're doing, it became something that we really, really leaned on, and, it helped us through those challenges. So.
Excellent. And while you were going, someone gave another good question. We're getting good questions here. Ado Smith writes, what's your recruiting process for such a new program?
Well, I mean, it's, we recruit the best. We're not shy. I'm bumping heads with, the traditional schools that are winning national titles, and I'm bumping heads with the traditional schools that are competing in the top 10. And I kind of said it earlier. We start and we recruit to the things that we value and what's important to us, and so recruiting is going well. In our rising senior class, we're one of 15 programs to have 2 top 100 commitments. We're on a lot of really good kids right now. And when I say good, good encompasses who we are. It's great character. It's academics, athletically. We wouldn't be recruiting them if they didn't meet that standard. There's a lot of things that go into it, and I would say recruiting is probably the best part of what we're doing right now.
That's great. Excellent. What are some coaching philosophies that you brought with you, or maybe some you developed during the year, or things that your team just started kind of growing organically?
Yeah, we were trying to create a high pace, a tense. Hold on 1 second. My kids are going nuts. Guys. Shh. Sorry.
It's okay. It's a family show. It's family values. Values is one of our core philosophies in our business. So if we can't talk over kids crying, that's our problem.
Well, they were actually wrestling in the living room right now as we were talking. So it runs in the family. That's good. As we're talking about philosophies, it's about getting getting to the leg and scoring points. Shooters win, and that's the attitude and the mentality that we take. And we want to, I'll put it this way. When you step on the mat with us, if you're going to wrestle us, you're going to leave that mat going, holy crap, I got lucky and I never want to wrestle that guy again, or I just got beat up and I never want to wrestle that guy again. And I say to my guys, I've said to them a couple times, we're going to fight. We're going to fight till hell freezes over, and then we'll fight on the ice. And it doesn't matter what the situation is. We can control our attitude and our effort, and we're going to get after you. We're going to punch you in the mouth right off the whistle, and it's not going to stop coming until that whistle blows again. And
that's important that the kids have that attitude, and I like the imagery. A lot of people play that down. That's important to play up because we're visual, especially as athletes. We're more in our senses rather than in theory and la-la land, kind of with abstract ideas. So when you say, we're going to fight on the ice, I get it. You say we're gonna punch you in the mouth right away. Of course, it's a metaphor. It's a symbol. We're coming right at you. That's important mentally for athletes.
Yeah. I tell my guys a lot, like when that whistle blows, we got to put them on notice. Like we want the intensity to come up right now. And hey, we might get taken down 2 or 3 times in a row because of it, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna be all right. And then when we get on top of you, we're gonna ride you like a cheap mule, and we are going to turn you up. We're going to be looking for pins, and we want to ride everyone for a minute. And we understand that bonus points really come from transitioning, so we work on transitioning to a lot of pins from our takedowns, from our reversals, things like that. I would say that the big thing that we talk about is pace. Right off the bat, that's setting the tone. That's putting them on notice. Our presence is just letting them know that, hey, we're 30 seconds in and we've been on your leg twice. Like, you better be ready. Pace, pressure, or presence and pressure, and then pins, and then positivity, because it doesn't matter what's going on. We can always come back and win.
And that's like 5 Ps. I love it.
I know. And that just kind of happened naturally. And it started with talking about our pace and our presence and, keeping pressure on guys. And then, we are always looking for pins. And, we had a lot of situations where we had to stay positive. And so that's really where that came from. And that kind of grew organically as the season went on, and has, quickly become part of who we are.
That's great. And I like what you said about making them never want to wrestle you again, whether it's, even if someone beats you, and even if someone beats you bad, they could still have in their head, I don't want to wrestle that guy again. We've all probably been in situations like that where it was someone who maybe we were able to beat really bad, but man, it was a fight. They were tough. They wouldn't stop. And it's like, man, I not returned this guy, 15 times. That's in their head. That weighs on them heavily.
Yeah. It's a big part of it's a big part of our sport. You see guys at the beginning of the year. When I was at Carolina, we had a guy, he got tech-falled, early in the year and wrestled, who ended up being the number 2 seed at Nationals. And, we turned around and we beat him by 6 or 7 points because, that's just who we were. We're not going to, that guy didn't want to wrestle us again, even though he beat us pretty bad. And when it came time to fight us again, it's some people just don't want to show up for that. So we're going to be that guy.
When you said Carolina, I'm thinking Caldwell and Metcalf.
No.
Because he got teched in the All-Star match, Caldwell, and then came back and beat Metcalf.
He did, with some nasty headlocks.
Yeah,
so,
it's good stuff.
I see a question here. How do you get and show your confidence as a new program? Well, it's about celebrating the little things. And as we go through our process of the season and, preseason and training, and you're talking to the guys about, their mindset and their attitude and their filters of filtering things that happen through the match, you celebrate them when they do those little things right. And, when they do those little things wrong, you sometimes you have to stick a foot in the rear, but then you put your arm around them and you say, it's okay, but remember who we are. And, as season went on, we wrestled, probably a top 10, top 15 schedule. We wrestled 2 or 3 in the top 10, wrestled 7 or 8 in the top 25, and then went to the Southern Scuffle and some other tournaments. So, our guys were getting some good wins. We were, up top, we struggled a little bit. After 157, we had some young bucks. We had some guys that were wrestling up some weights, and we were still, winning that first bottom half. And when you're wrestling teams like Arizona State, North Carolina, some other, and you're winning the duel through 3 or 4 or 5 matches, guys start to believe in what you're talking about and what we're doing. And even though the outcome wasn't what we wanted, it just showed that, hey, we're not as far off as we think. And if we continue down this path, we're going to really jump levels quick.
That's it. Jump levels. That's great. Another question for you. We have a good day of questions. This is the most that by far that anyone's been asking questions to someone I'm interviewing. So hey, let's take it. During quarantine, how do you keep your guys motivated?
Well, we're like everybody else. We're doing Zoom calls and that, and that stuff is all great. But we're actually reading a book together. We're talking about how our habits are a lot of our habits are neurological. We just kind of, I wake up and I get up and I brush my teeth and I don't have to think about it. So we're talking a lot about, as a team, how can we create those successful habits, and how can we identify the cues that make us who we are. Some guys, they want to hear the crowd roar. Well, you're not going to hear the crowd roar if you don't take a chance. If you don't, take a chance every day, and you put your foot on the line and you get after it. So we're really trying to identify those cues that really help our guys. It's kind of like ring the bell and get the food type situation. That we want them to identify those things, and even if it's something that might not be a good habit. Okay, well, what is the cue that is causing that? Is it every time you get taken down, you have a habit of going right to your belly, or we all have different situations and scenarios, and from the practice room to the weight room to the classroom to how we think and prepare for practice, how we think and prepare for competition, how we view those things. We are really, really focusing a lot on that. And, it's just a book that really helps us identify things. So that's one way. We have some competitions going with some fundraising things. Guys are doing some fundraising things for our program. And we are sending videos every single day to each other of, who's doing what, and who's training, who's not, what they're doing, how they're doing it. And it's just kind of a cool little thing that we're doing amongst ourselves, that we're not necessarily putting out to the world, that we're just trying to continue to create that competing mindset, that you're competing in everything you're doing, whether it's pull-ups, push-ups, running, how many takedowns you can get, et cetera, et cetera. We're creating that competing attitude and mindset.
That's big. The best competitors compete the most, and they just get used to it. So that's why I always encourage people to throw challenges at each other on a regular basis, just so then all of a sudden you don't want a challenge to be a big deal. You want it to be, oh, you challenge me to push-ups? That's great. I challenge you to this. I challenge you to that. Yeah. And this way you're just ready to snap it on at any time. It's not like, oh, man, I'm in a competition right now. This is a big deal. It's, let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it kind of started in our preseason, and we have brother groups. We call them. We split them up into 4 to 6, depending on how many are on the team, and we compete against each other in different ways. In the classroom, they get points for progress reports and grades. They get points when we go out and play soccer, or handball, or spike ball. I'll ask I'll tell a group to get together after practice, and how many takedowns you guys get today, and the group who got the most takedowns got some points. So creating that competing for themselves, but competing for the team as well. They got points for what we call breaking bread together. They would keep track of how often they got together and ate lunch or played video games or together and doing those things together. So, that's one of the ways that we've really tried to, and I know that kind of extends beyond quarantine. It talks about what we did during season, but that's a big way that we've really tried to keep our guys together.
That's a real good thing. And I haven't heard that before. That's a good way to you make it competitive, but it's encouraging that unity, bringing them together outside of practice, outside of just training, to just be around one another, get to know each other, care about each other. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, and it forces them to talk to each other. Like the winner. They also got points for like the longest snap streak. So, they're all snapping each other, trying to keep their streak up, and it just keeps them communicating, keeps them bonding, and a place like Little Rock, we're very unique. We're not a traditional school. We got just shy of 11,000 students. 60% of them commute, and so your friends are really not just, they're just your teammates and other athletes. So you're here to, get a great education and win a national title. And, we don't have big sororities. We don't have football. We don't have all these tailgates things. You're here to win and set yourself up for life. So
There's a lot of good that could come with being away from that kind of distraction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why it's important, and we've always said that wherever people are choosing to go to schools, you've got to factor in everything. What's going to support you? What's going to support your goals athletically, academically, spiritually? If you're not around people who are positive, who are moving in the right direction, it's just something to be aware of. And I think that team cohesiveness, the togetherness, the fraternity, that band of brothers, that's a great thing. That's important.
Yeah, it's all part of your experience, and here there's just not as many distractions as other places. And I went to a big program, and I absolutely loved it. And but I see the value in where I'm at, and I see the value depending on what you want and what you want to accomplish. Little Rock is a great spot because you can come here and perfect your craft, and you can get a great education, and you're going to know who you are. You're going to know what you stand for in the direction that you want to go. Go in moving forward. So, I really love it here.
Close to the airport too, right?
Heck yeah, like 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
That's important too, because you get home pretty easily. It makes commuting not a problem. There's a lot of schools you fly out to, and we're not putting anyone down. It's just that would be one of the cons, right? There's always pros and cons of any program, and the pro here is that you can fly in and out pretty easily.
Yeah, some people talk about distance when they talk about programs. Well, you're a 15-minute drive to the airport, a 30-minute wait, and a 2-hour flight from home versus a 5 or 6 hour drive. So what's the difference,
Right.
So yeah, it's super important that they have that ability, and there's nothing better when you're traveling with a team going through a small airport, going places. So it's pretty nice.
Are you near? I was just in Arkansas a few years ago for the state baseball coaches convention at Baptist Prep. Are you near them?
Yeah, that's like 7 or 8 miles from my house. So Pat Smith has a wrestling club right here. It's probably 2 miles from his club and his house. My kids, train there. And then where Coach Hobby lives is actually, he could probably throw a rock and hit Baptist Prep from his house. So
wow,
pretty cool.
So I was real close to him. I was real close to him at the time.
Oh yeah.
I remember that being close to the airport. That's when you said the airport. And I said, yeah, when I flew into there, that was pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, we got to have you back.
Yeah, man. We'd all love to start traveling again. Of course, it's great the home time. It's great the family time. I'm all about that. But it is nice to resume business as usual, get out there, help a lot of people, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I hope that during this virus, it puts things in perspective. It puts the things that are important in perspective. And, not to go down this rabbit hole, but, college athletics has kind of gotten out of control as a whole. The way that, the way we do things, the way we spend. And I just hope that people understand that, this time is not something that they're going to see again in their life for a long time. My dad probably, he's 72 years old, and I don't know if he's seen a situation like this in his life. So, this is unique, and like any other situation, it's about how we react to it. If we continue to go back to, what we would call normal, we're not going to learn from it. So, I hope people understand how important this is, and how important your time with your family is, and because I know I have, and I've as much as I'd love to be on that road recruiting and picking up some good guys, and I got 4 little ones and a wife that I get to spend a lot of time with. So it's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, just capitalizing on the time we have. You know, you know, the downside, the cons, we can't do anything about that, so we make the best of it. The pros, we soak them up. If it's the family time, if it's learning a new skill, if it's improving certain areas, there's always something you could be doing to be getting better, like you said already. And then the
Absolutely.
things, and you know, and knowing that other generations have had it hard too in different ways, right? This might be our cross that we have
Yeah.
to bear, and so we got to face it. You know, time eventually, when people look back, our children or grandchildren, great grandchildren, it will be, how did we respond to this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last time that we didn't have the NCAAs, people were fighting a world war. So, you put that in perspective. It's tough, and that's just the situation we're in. But we do got a lot of questions here. You mind if I start, answering a couple of these questions?
Go ahead.
So Avery24 says, do you think a big team or a smaller team is better for a person individually? I think we touched on this a little bit. It's really about who you are, what's important to you, what you want to accomplish, and if you can trust those coaches and believe in those coaches. And, I think that in your mind, I think one thing that kids always forget is that when they'll say it, but they don't really know it, is that when you step on any college campus as a wrestler, you better expect to compete. You better expect to compete with guys around your weight and at your weight. And if you don't want to do that on a daily basis, then, that might not be something you want to do in the future.
Right.
But, big or small is really tailored to who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, and, you got to figure that out. So hope that answers your questions. And
Absolutely.
then,
Personality, temperament. Oh, go ahead.
No, absolutely. Can you fight for this guy? When you're talking to the coach, can you put your foot on the line every single day and know you're going to come back and that guy's going to have your back and you're going to have his? So that's big. That's huge. Next question is Charlie Cotton. It says, "Hi fellas, I come from the combat sports world. Is excessive weight cutting as much of a problem in your world as it is in ours?"
No, I think we got it all figured out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know anybody who cuts weight. I think that our sport has transitioned from, cutting a little less weight. I think it's still a problem. It'll always be a problem because people will always try to push the limits. And, I just think that it's always going to be somewhat of an issue, but it has moved in the right direction. I think that, there's always ways you could probably try to improve it, but, as of now, I don't think it's a huge problem, but it's still not something that we've completely solved. So.
Yep. And I always tell people that
questions I saw.
Oh, it's great. No, that's great. And I always say that, hey, it is a sport that we have to make weight. I get it, but cutting weight doesn't make you a better athlete. Becoming a better athlete makes you a better athlete. So make sure you're focusing on the right thing. Hone your craft. Right. There's no secrets. The best wrestlers wrestle the most. The best violinists play the violin the most. The best writers write the most. So hone your craft. Absolutely. So
absolutely.
Go ahead.
No. I was just agreeing with you.
I was just gonna say that anything. Where can people find more information about you, the team, social media, any place you want to point them?
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of ways that you can follow us. Obviously, on social media is always the easiest and the quickest and the most accessible, since that's what we love in this world the most. But Twitter, you can follow us. You can follow myself at Coach Erisman. Here on Instagram, just type in Little Rock Wrestling. Same on Twitter, Facebook. You can go to our website, lrtrojans.com, and find the wrestling tab. We do, updates after every competition. We're going to do some more live updates this year. Those are the main places you can follow us. You can, follow us by coming to our camps, which we can't have this summer, but in the future. And just staying connected and staying involved in what we're doing by following us, following our competitions. We're going, where we're going to be competing. Check out our schedule. And social media has really kind of taken over this. And that's where we do a majority of it. So.
Excellent. So everyone, make sure you check them out. Neil, doing great things over there. Thanks for being on the show. We'd love to have you back again. Good talking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to come anytime. Good talking to you.
Absolutely. Good talking to you. Tell the family we said hello.
I will. I'll
Take
see you.
care. We'll see you.
Bye.